I'm sorry, I can't resist, but the other day I heard a group of some pretty arrogant guys, all calling themselves pastors, pontificate a little bit on why the things going on in Russia right now really have nothing to do with Bible prophecy. Now, that's just outright crazy. Either that or they don't read their Bibles, and my guess is it's probably a little bit of both. Actually, let's take it a step further. They're choosing to ignore what is true so that they can fit in with their sort of social justice warrior kind of business. Anyway, case in point, and I really want to bring this up, there is nothing about what's going on right now in Russia and in Ukraine that has nothing to do with Bible prophecy. All of it has everything to do with Bible prophecy. When you look at Ezekiel chapter 38, it actually tells us that Gog, when he leads Russia and a whole series of conglomerate of nations to come against Israel, it is going to be done without the resistance of anybody. And the closest thing to resistance they're going to see is really a group of nations, not just one, but the biggest, of course, being Saudi Arabia. They're going to vocally say that they're against it. They're going to speak against it, but that's all they're going to do. They're not going to block them. They're not going to stop them. And the only person that's going to stand in the stead of Israel is going to be God himself. Now, Russia is beginning to develop that kind of power right now. I don't care what anybody says. Putin is acting unilaterally. And as he continues to act unilaterally, the international community is saying something without really doing anything. Case in point, I am looking at a headline right now. Now, this is from a few days ago. This is at the time of this recording, which is a few days previous to the time you're watching it right now. And it says this: United States will add Russia to sanctions if Moscow further escalates. Now, they know Moscow's going to further escalate. They have been saying that they are going to provide as many sanctions as they can as a result of what Moscow is doing. They've been threatening it, but the reality of it is the kind of sanctions that they are putting in front of everybody, particularly as it relates to the desires of the international community, is very limited. For example, they're going to stop their bank activity. They're going to stop doing all kinds of other things that relate to their financial standing, except for the biggest producer of revenue for Russia out there, and that is oil. Why? Because all of the European nations depend on Russia's oil significantly. As a matter of fact, the whole world does. It depends on 40% of all of their oil is coming from Russia. So the reality of it is we are watching Russia grow, whether or not anybody wants to admit it. There are people who are saying, well, they're not very successful in Ukraine, and maybe by the time you see this video, we might see a headline that says Russia's giving up or Russia's really not being as successful with Ukraine as it should. Well, irregardless of what happens to Russia with respect to Ukraine, understand the fact that we are looking at a world that is really not doing much about it. And the bottom line is Putin is learning that he can act unilaterally without experiencing the sting of the rest of the community. And I believe it is him the Lord, literally setting things up for the future as we begin to see all of the markers being set for what we know is going to happen in the last day. By the way, let me just simply say this about Ezekiel 38. It happens after the rapture. And if we're watching signs that God is getting Ezekiel 38 ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, that means we're getting raptured soon. And the stuff that you are looking at right now is record setting. It is precedent setting. The Bible, although it may not talk about Ukraine being attacked directly, it is certainly talking about the position of Russia in what Russia's going to do and how it's going to handle everything. And we are watching God allow Russia to be in the place in which it is. They're all over the place, folks. They are the big game in all over the Middle East. They're in Libya. They are everywhere. They have dominance in the Mediterranean, certainly in the Black Sea. I'm telling you guys, we are watching something formulate here like we've never seen before in world history. And let's not even start talking about Iran. Let's not talk about the involvement of Iraq potentially. Let's not talk about the significance of Saudi Arabia and Yemen to the south. Let's not talk about any of those things because there's a lot of significance there. Folks, it's happening. Jesus is coming soon and God is setting up the world stage to let it happen. We need to open up our eyes and pay attention. Let's watch and be sober. Jesus is coming soon, you guys. God bless you.